Creator of Holton Healing Arts Shaman School. Shaman School is for healers and coaches who know that they have really powerful spiritual gifts and also have real, regular people life experience and want to learn how to find their permission and their trust and their belief in how to use those gifts to help others and bring your gifts forward in a bold and dynamic way. Thanks for joining me today. And I wanted to share a little bit more about purpose. So this is a theme that's been coming up here and there. And I just want to speak to what finding your purpose even feels like. So I want to track back to a strong memory I have. I lived in Georgia for a long time, and I think I was working at restaurants and farms at the time. And I remember having a lot of fun and enjoying my life, but I was sitting at my kitchen table and, the sun was out and I was looking at my little vegetable garden behind my window thinking like, gosh, I'm happy, but like, it feels like something's missing. It feels like there just has to be more. And I had a feeling of being part of some kind of change in the world, right? Maybe not some big leader or a revolutionary, but I knew I wanted to take part in something that actually meant something. And preferably not something superficial, but also, what did that even mean? And so there was this like inner toil where every part of me felt like I had to do the responsible thing and work jobs that were secure. And so there was a lot of resistance in my system because I didn't want a conventional life, but also I did want to have a life, and I did want to have freedom, and I did want to do things, right? And so I dabbled in a lot of different things, even a small business venture that I had in entrepreneurship. And that first venture, I learned a lot, of course, and I'm really grateful for the experience. But even that was, it was a step in the right direction in sort of taking risks. But also, I knew that it wasn't what I really, really, really wanted to do, but it felt like a safe stepping stone. It felt like it was going to give me the thing I wanted, but not be the thing that I wanted. I thought that maybe I would get a break and I would be able to be my own boss, and I would be able to make money and support myself and have some personal and financial freedom. And so I did what I thought was safe and what was easy to sell versus what I actually wanted to do, and actually what I am really gifted in, and a place that I love to explore and play. And it took me a long time to even really admit that what I actually wanted to work was to work as a spiritual guide. I'd have fantasies of someone like noticing my knowledge and then maybe just ask me to be their coach. And I would have lots of experiences of people coming up to me and, like strangers would come up and tell me some of their problems or share really, really personal things kind of out of nowhere. So I knew I had it in me, and I had a strong relationship with spirit guides and with the earth. And I knew I had that meant something, but I also thought it was egotistical to offer this work, not to mention irresponsible, right? Besides, like, who am I to think I'm some kind of spiritual guru? Like, this is crazy. So I kind of hit a wall with it. I was growing less and less content with my regular jobs that I was working. I was still stressed and tight on money, and my desire to create something powerful was getting stronger. And also, so was my question of what even is it? What is this thing? What are my gifts? And even if I had something, how was I going to stand up against huge companies and famous spiritual leaders? Doesn't that just seem ridiculous to think that that would be a pathway forward for me? I'm just a regular person who just happens to really like learning about spirituality and has had some cool experiences with spirituality, But what I started to do actually, and it wasn't really a conscious choice, but because what I realized looking back is that part of the reason that I was unhappy is because I had this whole part of who I was, all of my spiritual experiences and my spiritual knowledge and my information with working with guides, all of this stuff was sort of like this little close, hidden, tucked away thing that I didn't really share with a lot of people. They're my whole, the most important and exciting part of my life internally took up maybe like 5% of what I shared externally. And so what happened, because I was a little unhappy in that way, I realized some of it was because I was keeping this thing tucked away and separate. Right. And I had lots of worries about what others would think if I brought it forward, what other people would think if I called myself a healer, all of these worries around what all of that meant. But what I ended up doing is I just began to slowly start sharing my inner life with close friends, little by little. And gradually through word of mouth, I started seeing clients. And that was just sort of here and there. And then I noticed that I was sort of waiting for an opportunity when it would feel like I was at some sort of finish line, where it would be okay for me to step forward, or where somebody would actually just notice me and ask me to do a thing. And actually, I realized there isn't some finish line anybody ever gets to become a healer, or really any occupation for that matter. They might finish a course or pass a curriculum, or get a degree or whatever. But for most of us, we don't feel ever like we're all the way there. Most of us always feel like we have more to learn and places to grow. And this is true certainly of the healer as well. And yes, of course, training and experience is very important. It's very important. But I was waiting on an invitation from outside of myself. And what I really needed was permission from inside of myself. So as I was working with people, I started to realize that the power and the magic isn't about enlightenment or reaching some sort of goal or some kind of special, especially acquired knowledge or spiritual expertise, but actually being able to mix my personal experience with my spiritual knowledge. Because real healing isn't about ascension, right? Or waking up. Real healing is about finding ways to navigate real life experiences and finding the teachings and the messages within our real life experiences that help us grow and expand and become who we are and who we want to be. So in the process, I became a person who is not afraid to share my gifts. And I also began to share my knowledge and my spiritual experiences more often when it was the right time and place. And now I get to work as a dynamic healer with a pretty magical life and pretty freaking magical clients as well. And I sometimes have to stop and realize, like, holy crap, I'm being the person that I always wanted to be, And now I know what it feels like to have the trust and the belief and the permission to share my gifts. And honestly, we need more regular people doing this work that don't think they're special or don't think they need to be special. And this is one of the places that held me back for the longest time, where I thought you had to have some sort of special invitation or be part of some special club where you actually get to do this. And I realized the fact that I didn't feel like that was me was one of the reasons why I should be doing this work, right? And it really started my life of being determined to help spiritually gifted people understand how to use their gifts in a unique and powerful way and boldly share their gifts. Not how to tell everybody how to do a healing, not to give them some formulaic ritual or tell them to do this to get this result, but actually how to embody their craft and learn to use the gifts that they have that's unique to them to guide the clients that are right for them through really powerful experiences. Mm-hmm. And real healing is a process. And the more we rush, the more we miss the medicine. And sometimes it's counterintuitive because we feel like we really want to get somewhere. And if we go really intense or we go really fast, we'll get there faster. But actually, by slowing it down and taking our time, we actually end up growing faster because we have time to integrate it versus trying to rush to get to a thing and then having to turn around and go back and redo it. So this is a lesson that I've learned over and over and over again, both with working with clients and through my own healing process. Right. And so what I had between the day that I was sitting at my kitchen table feeling like, I know that there is something more, and I know that I need to be part of something, between that and where I am now with, a real practice and working with really incredible people and doing deep healing work. Everything that happened in between was a trial and error process. And, I'm grateful for my experience, but also that was like, I don't know, that was like 7 to 9 years or so of me tiptoeing around where I wanted to be. And so the invitation is, if you've been feeling the call and it's been gradually growing, it doesn't go away. It doesn't actually go away. We can't talk ourselves out of it. We can't do some other job that will make us not want to do it anymore. It stays with you. So just know that. And know that the sooner you give yourself permission to explore this part of yourself and what you're being called to, the sooner you can be out doing the work that you were called here to do. And what is likely what it is that you want to do the most. And this is all why I created Shaman School. This isn't about handing you the information like some secret knowledge that will set you free. This isn't about getting a certificate to say you do a thing. Actually, a certificate is meaningless if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't feel confident with what you're doing and how to use your gifts that are unique to you, then it doesn't matter who else you study with or what kind of marketing you have or anything else. Until you feel confident about what you do and how you do it, all of the other pieces, the getting a certificate, the getting the cute pictures, saying the right thing, none of that matters. What matters is how you are with yourself. And honestly, even in shaman school, I'll teach you lots of really powerful shamanic techniques to helping your clients. But really what this is really about is knowing and trusting yourself. And a lot of other programs teach sort of cookie cutter methods, or they teach you something that's great, but then they don't actually walk you through practicing it. Or maybe you have like one practice session and then you never really gain the real confidence to feel like you know what you're doing. Because if you practice the same tool with somebody else, what if they come with a different problem? Or what if something else comes up? And all of these worries that we have stay with us. And then we aren't able to do as powerful work as we are when we're confident and when we trust ourselves. So our program is dynamic, it's versatile, and you will complete it not looking and feeling like you just did the same thing everybody else did. It's personalized towards you and the unique thing you came here to do, right? And on top of it, our program isn't some huge group with hundreds of people in it where there's a teacher telling you all the things and you just, do what they say. Our program is interactive and it's one of community and personalization and support. So you can have the actual experience of really knowing how to use your gifts and really believing in what you do and really trusting yourself so that you can bring forward your gifts in a really powerful healing practice. So if you know that you have gifts and real life experience, but either don't know how to use them or want to develop them deeper so you can help others in a more powerful way, or a more direct way, or even a more practical way. And if you are action oriented, that if you're somebody who cares so much about helping others, that you're committed to your own deep healing, then this might be the best program for you. It's for people that are ready to be a dynamic healer that has the trust and permission and belief to boldly share their gifts with others. And it's will provide you with inner and outer transformations, like work-life balance, like healthy relationships, like a passionate career, like a magical life, things that we want and actually help us in regular real life. And of course, you gain clarity on your purpose and the confidence to go for it. and the ability to confidently use your gifts and guide others to deeply heal for good. So if this feels like you, I invite you to apply for Shaman School. I'm running a special right now that includes lots of extra bonuses and support, and I would love to share more about that with you. If you're feeling the call and you're curious, if you know that you have gifts and you're tired of smushing them away or playing small or feeling unsure of yourself, then apply for Shaman School. You can DM me for information, or you're welcome to check out the link in my bio. Thanks for joining me today.